Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today let's talk about a recently finished airing Chinese drama, 山花烂漫时, She and Her Girls. This is a 23-episode contemporary drama that has aired on the platform Tencent, also CCTV China Central Television. It went live online on September the 10th, which is in China Teachers' Day. Because this drama is a biography drama based on the story of a headmaster who lives and works in Yunnan province, the most famous female headmaster of a girls-only high school in China. This is also, without a doubt, Avenue X's, so far in 2024 Chinese drama land, best Chinese drama. Now let's first talk about a couple of interesting details about this drama. When it first released a couple of trailers, it actually had a different title in Chinese, which is a high school in mountains. That sounds very interesting. Before they aired this drama, they changed it into 山花烂漫时, literally means when the wildflowers are blooming. And this comes from a line of poem written by Mao Zedong. The last two lines of that poem is 待到山花烂漫时，她在丛中笑. By the time or until the time comes when the wildflowers are blooming, she is smiling among the flowers. It takes the first half of the line, 山花烂漫时, which is basically hinting the second half, which is not in the title, but you get the idea. She is smiling among the flowers. And if you think about she being the headmaster or headmistress, English and gender. In Chinese, it's the same word, 校长, literally means the head of a school. When you think about she as the headmistress, then the flowers could be her students. As for the drama itself, it's directed by Zhang, who is the director of most of my audiences should be very familiar, Love Like a Galaxy. 星汉灿烂. That was really popular when it aired, and it was an idol period drama. Completely different genre compared to this heavy realism biography drama. Also, he brought almost the whole crew in terms of working behind the scenes and some supporting actors in this drama, all from Love Like a Galaxy. So you're gonna see a lot of familiar faces who came from that drama. In terms of script writing, since this is a biography drama based on a real-life figure story, you have a lot of things to go off on. Documentary, interviews, you can literally go to the school and interview her, which this crew did do. And then it's written by 4 female script writers. In terms of acting performances, this drama really picked perfectly fitting actor and actress, led by Song Jia playing Zhang Guimei, our definitive big female lead. Like, this is proper big female lead compared to all idol dramas where you have so many fake Mary Sues. Then for the students, the high schoolers, the 2 most important students will be played by Lan Xia and Du Lan. Then it also features very familiar faces such as Jiang Chao and Nie Yuan, who are in all types of dramas these days, and they also deliver great performances. Then for the teachers in the school, you have Zhang Tianyang, who has already been in a couple of really high-profile dramas since last year. Zhang Yue, she's been around also for quite a long time. Huang Miyi, very good actress. Zhai Zilu, surprisingly good for this drama. For this panel of cast, once you start watching the drama, you'll keep sort of getting astonished by how fitting they are. For the leading actress, Song Jia, she did visit the school. She did have long conversations and actually met the person that she's playing in the drama. And by the end of the shoot of this drama, she personally donated 1 million RMB to this school. And then the whole crew, in their crew's name, donated 6 million. So in total, they donated 7 million, which is right now with the exchange rate, 1 million US dollars to the school. Before I go into talk about the drama specifically, I want to quickly introduce you to the person, Zhang Guimei. Born in 1957, she's actually from Dongbei, northeastern China, the part where actually Song Jia also comes from. Zhang Guimei, when she was very young, already moved to the south of China. She had a husband who died of cancer, but when they were together, they were already working to help the very remote region's education of young people. And she also got into quite bad health situations like cancer herself. So pretty much all her life, she's not very healthy. But then she has like the strongest fighting spirit imaginable for anybody. Around the early 2000s, she is in Yunnan region and Lijiang city, and it's very mountainous, remote places, and very economically not doing well places. In those places, she noticed that the girls are not getting the same amount of opportunities to even even get an education compared to, say, boys. Because in villages, if you have a son, you put all the resources in the family on this kid, whereas the girls get ignored, they get married off early, and the girls will repeat their mother's story. So what happens is this not getting educated tendency will be passed on from generation to generation. And she wants to stop that. She wants to give all the girls an opportunity to get to high school, take part in college examination. If you manage to get enrolled into any universities, you have the possibility of leaving the mountain, go to bigger cities, see the world. And she tried very hard and founded the first ever girls-only high school in China that's completely free of charge. Tuition, accommodation, food, even to daily expenses. The 3 years you're there, you're completely covered everything. Your family doesn't need to spend a dime. Technically, I think the first year of enrollment in 2008, she got 94 girls into her school. In the drama, they said 100. I think they just rounded up to like easy to remember number. By 2024, this year, she has just sent off the 14th rounds of girls that entered the Chinese college examination. And because of her effort all those years to help the remote regions of China's girls to get education, she got 2021's July the 1st medal, the highest level of medal any Communist Party member in China can get. Initially designed back in 2017, so it's relatively new, but the first year when they gave out this award to 29 people among the close to like 100 million party members in China, only 29 people, and she's one of them. She's also a member of the 17th and 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party. It just says a lot about how much she has achieved. You go to China, you ask anybody, and have you ever heard the name Zhang Guimei? Everybody has. This drama is based on her story, and she's still operating and running her school right now. So, when you do this type of biography thing, it's always tricky to balance reality and dramatic things that a drama or a film usually requires. And I think in this case, they've done the best possible job you can do for doing a biography piece on a living person. If you compare this drama to last year's film version that went into cinema called 我本是高山, led by Hai Qing, you see a stark contrast. The storytelling, the angles, and the main creatives, where they position themselves in relation to the characters that they are portraying, and what they believe is the motive of this person to achieve such great things in life. These two things is like heaven and earth, black and white, and they're completely on the polar opposite of the spectrum, and it's fascinating if you do a comparison. And I guess because of the film's failure and how heavily and seriously it gets criticized, in comparison, the drama just starts to shine even brighter. It's a little bit like 2024 gaming world. Things happen in cluster. Now let's talk about the drama itself. I watched the first 3 episodes and I got interrupted because I had to make my Black Myth Wukong video and then play the game so that I can make the video. So I had no choice but stopped watching it. While that's ongoing, people start to talk about it online and saying it's so good. After I got the first round of the game finished, I finally had time to sit down and then watch the drama. From episode 4, I didn't even realize it was happening, but I kept running the drama. It just didn't stop for me because my iPad is set to skipping the ending and opening song. So it just kept running, and before I realized it, I was in episode 15. And that tells you a lot about how well the drama is paced. So the first thing I want to say is, if you completely forget it's based on a real person, it has a lot of other things attached to it, it's extra value. If you just think about it as a visual dramatic storytelling piece, the pacing is so good to the point you don't realize it's a 23 episodes drama. Everything is just happening at the perfect moment. And every link of the plot and character development just flows into each other so well that you don't realize you are watching a episodic drama. It just goes. So for that one thing, already it's a 3 gold mine worth drama. And another thing, like I said earlier, about the watching experience of this drama is this is such a great drama that you are crying watching it at the same time you're laughing. And neither of this type of high emotional charged nature of the drama makes you feel it is at any moment forced. It is because it's based on such real things that just by authentically showing you the real conditions of those girls, of the schools, of the struggles that people go through, it's enough to move people to tears. Emotional sort of like energy you feel in the story, they're very genuine. So even when they're very strong and they're constantly tugging you, you don't feel any form of gaslighting from the storytellers. You feel very loving attitude they have towards their characters, their story, but also we are telling a story that's so worth telling, and then we want more people to know about what she has achieved and what those girls in the schools and the local authorities, how they managed to put this thing together, made a miracle happen. It's so worth telling. And you watch the drama, you totally resonate with that energy. Second, very worth watching point about this drama is casting choices and acting. And I'd say if Song Jia doesn't get major acting award in television in China from now on to like say within next 2 years, because certain awards are given at different time intervals. If she doesn't get award for her leading role in this drama, then those awards are rigged. Like I'm saying it now, whether it happens next year or the year after, does not matter. First, it's a real person, so you can see what real Zhang Guimei looks like. Song Jia doesn't have the perfect natural attributes that make her look like the biography person that she's playing. Zhang Guimei is very small. Song Jia is a lot bigger, and they don't look alike either. And Song Jia's public image is this elegant, tall, perfect for high fashion. If you've seen a couple of like her big fashion sort of events, photos that came out this year or the year before, high fashion's preference of what you should be looking like high cheekbones, the skinny body frame, the cold, kind of like a detached sort of like quality a person has that fits the high fashion aesthetics. She's like so high fashion that couldn't be further away from the reality person she's playing, who is this little petite and dark skinned lady because she lives in Yunnan, which has very high UV, and she has no time to make herself look good, dresses in extremely old and often maybe too not presentable clothing. So that's like so far away from what Song Jia is like in life and also her public image. Yet, when she embodies the character, starts to play her, there's like not even one thing that just doesn't feel right. Not only because they style her to look more like Zhang Guimei in real life, but the actress also paid so much attention to how the real person walks, how she holds herself, like the posture, the facial sort of expression, the kind of look they have, and the energy the person vibes. But then the most important thing she got, I think thanks to both of them coming from Dongbei, they speak the same, very similar dialect, they got the same sense of humor, very iconic of that region. They really are very similar on that aspect, and Song Jia very sensitively and accurately captured that. So even though they don't look in any way similar, when she plays her, she just captures the essence of the person instead of the appearance, and it makes the audiences believe she is her. This is what good actors can do and good actors and proper acting should be. You know, for this type of actress and this type of performances, how much like you pay her for her performance, like I would think like it's all worth it. But funny enough, she probably doesn't get paid nearly as much as idols who cannot act but get ridiculous pay. And then for all the other people who can all be called supporting roles, because this is drama about her, so everyone else is a supporting role. And I have no complaint about anybody. Everyone fits so perfectly. For example, Nie Yuan, he plays the local education authority person, is so 干部, the type of Chinese official. This is a person who definitely know a lot of real life officials and know that generation of people, how they act, down to what type of shirt will be worn, or jacket, or bag, or how they would be talking, and the particular vibe of the early 2000s official. Oh my god, Nie Yuan just like perfectly captured that. Also, Jiang Chao, the other actor who played the local sort of county deputy head of county. These two who playing officials are just playing perfect official, who have this level of cleverness, bureaucracy thing going on. Like they want to keep their own sort of like 乌纱帽, right? Safe. At the same time, they're also good people. So they also want to do good things, but then they have to balance or they have to think, like, do I put my own head on the line for a school that may never succeed in running? And over the 15 years from when they start the school till they actually all retire and become like a retired old man, it's just so lovely to see the friendship they gradually build between the headmaster, the lady, and then these two guys. For the school kids, most of the girls are real young girls, but a couple of leading actors are actually older than the teenagers they are supposedly playing, like 16, 17-year-old. You will 100% believe these are teenager girls, but they're not. They're older in reality. And thanks to how authentically this drama just represents what those girls would look like in that particular geolocation, also at the time when like there wasn't even social media. First, you're not supposed to have really pale skin because UV is really strong in Yunnan. If you live there, you're gonna get very tan. So everybody's very tan. Young girls, acne, right? And they don't hide it. Like you literally see the acne growing, and it's like just accurate to the period of time in your life. Also, you don't have makeup, zero. For all the girls and all the school teachers almost too, because during that time, nobody really had the resource or even energy to think about that. And it would be forbidden in school anyway. Everybody's hair is just like, there's no blow drying happening. And these actresses have completely given up to look good for camera. They look right for their roles. Particularly Lan Xia, I think she has proven this year that she is a surprisingly talented, really understand what acting is, young actress. First is when she showed up in Netflix Three Body, when she only has like, what, 2 scenes, and she instantly captures you playing the Red Guard during Cultural Revolution. Thinking about she is a person who lives now and she never lived through that period, yet she just like captures the essence of people of that era really accurately, and it's a rare ability and a lot of young actors don't have these days, and she happens to be one of those people who can do it. Then earlier War of Faith this year, where she plays the arranged marriage girl who's supposed to marry Wang Yibo, and she goes to the city and she actually doesn't care about him. Such a vibrant, energy young girl, and she played it so well, so believable. At that time, I think a lot of people have already realized she's such a good actress, and then now you have this to prove again. And then if you look at the teacher panel, again, so many familiar faces. Zhang Tianyang playing the 主任. He has already played the Emperor last year in Journey to Love. This year, again, War of Faith from Ai Qi, who's one of the best bad guy in an espionage drama I've seen in recent years. And I'm just so happy he shows up in this one and a completely different character. He shows you again like what a proper actor should be. And then the other people like Zhang Yue, Huang Miyi, Zhai Zilu, they all play their roles really well. They fit into this, and there's nobody who jumps out like, oh, he should be belonging to an idol drama, or she should belong to a xianxia drama. It's so odd that they're in a real place in Yunnan province in Huaping County, early 2000s, and living like that. None of them will give you that feeling. They all feel like they belong. And for that, I'm just like so thankful for the drama picking them, but also for the actors putting in that much effort, going to the real place and living with the people there and actually understand what everything is like. Third point, very important point, the drama does not shy away from telling a story authentically and honestly about a real person, particularly in comparison to the film version you get last year. There's this tendency, I think, in Chinese entertainment and also in cultural circle, say writers or all that, because of the history China has gone through since the middle of last century to now. You see a lot of people have this tendency of, first is trying to self-reflect about everything. It's like first think about what's wrong instead of what's right. The second thing is people tend to try to do psychoanalysis on everything. And I think it definitely is influenced by the West's angle of telling stories on the individual side. Like you look at everything from a personal perspective, you talk about a hero's journey, the strong mistrust and disbelief in group, in the power of the community. And you see a lot of that emphasis on personal heroism, mostly I'd say in Western narratives about films and television and everything. And a lot of Chinese storytellers, particularly I'd say born between the 70s, right? 60s, 70s, 80s, tend to get influenced by that a lot. They may not be consciously aware of it. So when you look at the film version of 我本是高山, talks about Zhang Guimei story led by Qing last year, they just cannot help. They have to find a reason for why she would want to do this and why she can do it for that many years when everything is seemingly against her, when she doesn't have money, doesn't have support, she's in the village, she's the only outsider, and then all the other villagers are like, who cares about making girls go into education? And clearly they are a not economically doing well county. They don't have money. How do you build a school and found it and run it every year completely free? They just have to find a reason, personal, from sort of the classic things, either it's from love, from sex, from whatever like background. You have to find a reason to motivate these people. Otherwise, they don't believe a person can just do it. Not because they're thinking about their husband, not because of any of those things, just because they are a good person. They see other girls, women suffer, potential being wasted, and as a woman themselves, coming from a family where they don't get a lot of attention growing up because they are the girls, they therefore want to help. And then they are Chinese Communist Party members, and that's a true thing. And she emphasizes it every time when people interview her, and she always wears the Communist Party badge on her heart, and she always says, as a Communist Party member, I have to do these things because this is what my party believes and wants me to do. So one of her strongest motivation and her sort of spiritual support she has is that when it's the hardest time, she would call in her teacher in the school and having meetings and support and encourage each other, and they would reread their oath when they join the Communist Party and saying basically, if this is battleground, if this is wartime, if I'm the last on this battlefield, I will not let it go until I die. And they would do that literally in real life to help themselves keep doing the work when seemingly nothing is working out, their bank account is empty, and the school needs to be run, and a million questions and problems they're facing. And this is what she said multiple times in her interviews. The film version completely omit the fact that that's her spiritual support, not her dead husband. That's her spiritual support. They made her very sad and heavy and painful to look at in the film version. Whereas the drama, they're not trying to do that psychology analysis thing and trying to find a personal motivation, a reason for her to do what she does. It's following the real person's real journey and what she told you for real. Like, this is why I did it, and this is how we did it. This is how it went down. We took that meeting and we said those things and we kept going, and all those teachers supported me. And that's why we ended up having this. And it doesn't also shy away from the fact that it's not herself who managed to do this, although she is the most important person. But once she started, she needs help and support from local authorities, such as the character played by Nie Yuan and Jiang Chao. Without their support, there's no way the school is going to get built. Eventually, the head of the county found out about all this, and then they literally went out their way to find money, like over 8 million RMB, to build this school from ground up. Without that, it's not going to be there. All those teachers who entered the school for the first 3 years signed those contracts to promise not leave, to promise not go off and get married and pregnant so that they can focus on the first round of students and make sure they go to college examination. All the girls who worked so hard and had to deal with so much personal difficulties to eventually work themselves almost to death so that they can catch up with the proper sort of education level of their age and eventually end up in the exam and actually all passing and getting to different schools. Like, it's all real, but it shows that it's not a personal heroism story that much. It is everybody working together. 1 + 1 is bigger than 2 situation that made it happen in the end. It's not because she herself, like a lonely hero against everything, the whole world is like against her. No, it's like she started it and more people joined her and supported her, and everyone worked together to get to the result. And I'm so appreciative that the drama version does not shy away from looking at, this is what happened, this is this character in real life, this is what she did, we should pay respect to the real person and the facts that happened and how it went down. instead of trying to make up something in our own brain about, well, she has to have a dead husband that she's missing all the time, and that's her personal spiritual support when she's like during the hardest time of like running the school. If we just look at documentary of this real headmistress in life, like how she talks and acts, she's such a positive person. Although she's looking tiny and sickly most of the time, her spiritual energy is just so upward going, outward going. It's like a sun. Finally, I want to emphasize, I'm so appreciative of the 4 writers, all women, who wrote the story honestly and roundedly represent women of all professions, ages, not just Zhang Guimei, but her friends, the other country women that you come across, students, obviously, teachers. There are so many details, right? That down to every line they speak and every plot that happens, that constantly gives you the feeling that really it can only come from female writers who knows what are the things that women think and encounter every day, good or bad, in all forms of detail. For example, it talks about one of the girl in the school who quit the school halfway because of certain things happening in her family, and she went to a massage parlor to work and then got sexually harassed, and then she hit her customer so that she got taken into the police station because she assaulted other people physically, and the teacher got caught in, Zhang Guimei, to bail her out. During that whole sequence, you don't see that in other dramas where the teacher confronts the police directly and saying she's a young girl, she has no idea what's happening to her, she's protecting herself, and you're putting her in incarceration. And the other guy who got hit, yes, but he deserved it because he's sexually harassed the girl. And how you're just making it so easy for this guy to get away, but then you're putting all the blame on the girl, and then she went out of her way to find witness, to find proof, and even eventually get hold of CCTV to prove the guy did something wrong. And then at the end of the whole thing, when the girl comes out and it's all good, she would be standing there and literally very seriously, as a teacher scolding kids, telling the policeman that what you're doing is not right, and your attitude, sweep the things under the carpet and let it go easily, is wrong. You don't see that in other dramas. Like, for this type of plot to happen, again, it's like so sensitively written, resonating. Like, for audiences, when you see that sequence happen, you're just like, oh, I'm so appreciative that this kind of plot happens in this drama. There are so many such details, even down to, because of the lack of education, girls don't even know they have periods. When they have periods in high school, they get freaked out and they think they have like terminal disease. There's also the story about 2 very top girls in the school who are good at studying, and they're secretly or openly competing against each other. And because they study so hard, everybody in this class gets like influenced by them, and they all study very hard. And although there's this rivalry going on, it's not hate, it's not the type of dark energy like the girls like tearing at each other's hair type of situation. They recognize each other, how hard it is for them to get to where they are and how much work has gone into it, and it cannot be let go, and you should not give up so easily. And even though in a way we are rivalries, I want to go to number 1 and you also want to go to number 1 in the whole school, but then if in any way something is impeding you from reaching your highest potential, I would go out my way to make sure it doesn't happen to you. And it's just like that camaraderie, that competition, but like it's a healthy competition, and a girls' bond is so well depicted in the drama. And if you watch the film version, they have similar things going on, but it's completely depicted in a dark, negative way where everybody is spiteful and vengeful and jealous of each other, and it's just all dark energy, and it's like the girls really are like cutting throat of each other, even down to depicting romantic relationship in a drama where it mainly happens between these 2 teachers. There's almost nothing. Very briefly, you have like one moment you can see that maybe this teacher is like interesting in that, but because they signed a contract, they have 3 years, they're not marrying, they're not doing any of that. And then there's this one thing that happened at the last year when it's only a couple of months away from the 3-year contract, and it's Chinese New Year, and these 2 school teachers, they're not going home, they're staying in school, and on New Year's Eve they're eating across their working desk. There's romantic moment happen between them. My god, it's just honestly the most romantic moment I've seen in Chinese drama land so far this year, and nothing epic happened. It's just 2 people sitting across each other eating and with one lamp on. No crazy gestures, no crazy words, nothing happened. It's just like two very simple lines. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the performance of that moment was just mind-blowingly romantic and beautiful. It's gonna be like on my list of the best drama moments of Chinese dramas. And it so comes from female writers' perspective, ability to capture those little things that have such a strong impact emotionally. So many other moments in the drama happen in such a way, and I don't have time to go through all of them, but when you watch this 23 episodes drama, you're likely to go like in one go because it's so good. And then every almost episode, every couple of beats, you're gonna come across something that just like does this to you, whether it makes you cry or laugh or just makes you go, oh my god, unbelievable, this is so good. Also, like if you're a comedy lover, oh my god, you're gonna love this drama. So surprisingly, it's so funny. The only thing personally I don't like, it does not affect my rating, which is I don't like its visual style. It actually knows how to tell a story from, say, particular movement of a camera, setup of lighting, how they pick different framing to tell a story, even like how you move light within a shot to add some of the extra meaning on it. Like that's all worked out pretty professionally. Personally, I'm just not very much of a fan of its visual quality, the color. And Tencent puts it out on VIP, the SVIP, like it has different levels, which is ridiculous, and you don't even know what they are. And some of them looks like they artificially just basically pull up the contrast. Whether it's the normal version or the 4K version or the whatever version, they just like don't look very good. And that's the biggest complaint I have about it. Everything else is like, I'm so happy. Like it's definitely rewatch worthy, looping worthy, and it's only 23 episodes. You know, you can go through it really easily. It does not drag, and it's most of the time ridiculously, hilariously funny. 革命乐观主义, the optimism of the revolutionary people's angle. That's actually super fun and highly energy charging for you to watch. You're not gonna get depleted when you watch a drama. You're actually gonna, after watching it, you're gonna feel like you have the courage to deal with all challenges in your life. Gives you hope and trust in the good part of humanity. Basically, at the end of this whole review, I'm just saying this is the best Chinese drama I've seen this year, 2024, hands down. If you miss it, you're gonna miss a really good thing. So, international Chinese drama watchers, please check out this drama. You will not be disappointed. That will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching Up New X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.